Fentanyl is the leading killer if you're 18 to 45 right now. It's become such a problem across this state and across this country that I think we need to send a very strong and clear message.
I would love for this conversation to be in the Health and Welfare Committee. And I wonder how many people here filed a bill in that committee which would actually go about working with doctors and community health workers and public health officials.
How often have you found fentanyl-laced marijuana?
Zero.
There are several people that I know that died from fentanyl because it was laced in marijuana.
Don't have any sympathy for drug dealers and drug manufacturers. If you don't know what you're selling, get a test strip and test it.
I was just Googling free test strips, fentanyl test strips, and trying to figure out where someone might get them or even purchase them. And I couldn't really come up with an easy answer here in Louisiana.
This amount right here is 1/10 of a gram. That's a lethal dose for any of us. If that would have been fentanyl, I would be on this ground in front of you right now dying.
I just would urge if you're looking at harsher sentences and looking at this from the criminal justice side, please also look at how do we reduce poverty? How do we provide better public health? Thank you for the time. Happy to take any questions.
I guess so often I get taken back by sometimes you guys come up here and you often say, we need rehabilitative services. They need help. So I'm going to bring you back 3 years ago. I brought a bill that says when you call 911 for a drug overdose, not the first time, not the second time, not the third time, but on the fourth time law enforcement went there, you could be then subsequently charged. And the only thing that could possibly happen to you was that you would be sentenced to drug court and rehabilitation. Two of you at that table opposed that bill. You opposed the bill. You opposed the bill.
I don't think I did, but if I did, and I think I remember the bill, it was 3 years ago, so I'm not 100% sure.
I'm telling you, you opposed the bill. You can't have it both ways. You can't come here and say you can't have harsher sentences, and then you can't, when we bring a bill about rehabilitation, you can't oppose that. You don't want anything.
I certainly didn't come to the table on that bill, and if I did oppose that, then I was mistaken.
So
and
you okay now, after someone overdoses 4 times, that we try to give them rehab?
Again,
No, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Let's
again,
bring
and
that
if I
bill next year.
oppose
Let's
that,
work together next year.
Absolutely.
You know, we got people in the food parish. We saved 20 times. We Narcan them 20 times. And we still let them go back out there. We want to know why people's dying? Because people like you don't come with solutions. That's the problem.
I have actually brought several bills that I think would help deal with it.
Let's Representative Fondo, let's keep it, watch our comments.
My name is Norris Henderson. I'm the executive director and founder of VOTE. And I adamantly oppose this bill. Pre-COVID, I took a group of criminal district court judges and juvenile court judges to Angola. And one of the judges had the, I guess, I ain't gonna say luxury, but had sentenced a juvenile to life imprisonment. And she asked a question about where is this person housed? I mean, y'all want our courtesy, but people are talking over me.
Further comments, sir?
And yes. And so when I took these judges to the prison, their concern was one of the judges' concern was where was this individual she had sentenced as a juvenile to life in prison. And when I explained to her that he was in a 180-man cell block and he would be there until his 21st birthday, either he was like 4'11", 85 pounds, and so he was going to be in a cell 23 hours a day until one, he either had a growth spurt or he reached 21 years of age. So when we're talking about how we housing people in these facilities, we're kind of like sentencing these kids to more trauma because they're going to be isolated in an adult facility where people walking around the size of Representative Bryan, and here's somebody 4'11" trying to survive in an environment like that. No, that's real talk.
I want to just address Representative Knox's question about what happens to kids on the inside of a prison. I spent all of my life in prison, and all of my fights that I had in prison was to protect kids from predators. In Old Orleans Parish Prison, during Connor's administration, it was violent. Had guys from Court Order on Angola. These men never knew the pleasures of a comfort of a woman. All they knew was the anal of a kid or another man. And they targeted these children as weak, talking about physically weak, mentally weak. And they have a thing called the wear down process, where these predators will wear these kids down, sweat them all day, every day, in the showers, in the dorms, in the bathrooms, until they cave in and just submit to sexual activity. It happens every day. And when you place a kid in an adult prison, what happens is, if they're scared, they're going to check PC, protective custody. And in protective custody, they're going to be in a cell for the duration of their time. Now, on the Safe Alternative to Segregation Task Force that I'm a part of, our goal was to reduce the amount of time that a person spends in the cell because of the harm it does to the mind, how it lacerates the spirit. But this kid will be forced to sit in that cell 24 hours a day. That's more harm on top of the harm from a sexual predator. This is a bad bill. I opposed the bill. I wasn't going to speak because I knew my colleagues wouldn't speak to a lot of the issues. But every fight I had in prison was not because I was protecting myself. And I fight good. I was a boxer. And I skilled my boxing skills up because I knew in my spirit I would be protecting kids throughout my journey from Old Orleans Parish Prison to Angola. It's still going on today. They have men who've been incarcerated 40 years, never touched a woman. All they know is children, young men, black, white, Hispanic. They don't care about that. All they care about is the pleasure of the anal. This is a bad bill, and you're going to do more harm to them kids than good.
All right, we have Representative Bacala has made a motion to report Senate Bill 159 favorable. Any opposition to 159 favorable? Seeing opposition, we will have a vote. Ms. Wyman, please call the roll.
Representative Bacala? Yes. Yes. Representative Bryant? No. Representative Edmiston? Yes. Representative Fontenot? Representative Garofalo? Yes. Yes. Representative Gudo? Yes. Representative Hodges? Yes. Representative Horton? Yes. Representative Knox? No. Representative LaFleur? No. Representative Marcel? Representative Muscarello? Yes. Yes. Representative Seabaugh?
Yes.
Yes. Representative Villio? Yes. Representative Marino?
No.
No. 9 yeas, 4 nays.
Mr. Vice Chair, it was my understanding and appreciation from Chairman Marino that he spoke to organizations and he was putting in place a rule that only one member of an organization would be testifying on behalf of the organization. I would move to put that rule in place along with the other rules we have put in place today.
Okay, we have a motion by Representative Villio to restrict testimony to one individual per organization. Representative LaFleur has objected. I will give brief comments to anybody who wishes to comment. This is not in the rule book, so it doesn't fall under the typical motions. So we will give you guys just a few brief moments to voice your positions on it. We'll begin with Representative Marcel briefly.
Thank you. I think it's appalling that we would try and stop the public from making comments. I don't care if it's 200 people from Vote that want to testify. We have a policy in here that we will let everyone speak who wants to speak. They could speak on behalf of Vote or themselves. It does not matter. And the same thing goes when we have all the people here with the gun shirts on and we let all of them speak. So today ain't gonna be no different than no other day. And I think it's wrong that we send a wrong message to people when certain bills come up. We want to limit the testimony. Let's limit the testimony. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it across the table. We only gonna have one DA to speak. We only gonna have one sheriff to speak. Let's get the business cleared in here.
Excuse me, guys. We don't clap in committees. Let's just hold it down, keep our decorum. Representative LaFleur, briefly on your objection.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I agree with my colleague, members of the public. This is your house. This is your committee. You should be given the opportunity to speak on any bill that appears before the folk that you sent here to be your voice. Representative government demands it, and I am in favor of anyone that wants to step to the mic, be able to step to the mic and speak.
Okay, Representative Villio has offered up that this committee would accept one person per organization to testify on a bill. That would be in favor or opposed. Hold on. Representative Villio.
And again, it was my conversation with Chairman Marino that he initiated, and he told me that he had talked to the organizations beforehand. So if that is not true, I have no reason to believe that Chairman Marino told me something that didn't occur. And so that was the basis of my motion, and it stands. Thank you.
Representative Villio has offered up that we would accept one witness per organization, and we have an objection. If you would call the roll.
Representative Bryant? Representative Edmonston? No. Representative Fontenot?
Yes.
Yes. Representative Garofalo? Representative Gudo? No. Representative Hodges? Yes. Representative Horton? Yes. Representative Knox? No. Representative LaFleur? No. Representative Marcel?
No.
No. Representative Muscarello?
No.
No. Representative Seabaugh?
Yes.
Yes. Representative Villio? Yes. Yes. Representative Bacala?
No.
No. 5 yeas, 7 nays.
Gentlemen, the three of you are all representing vote, correct?
Correct. Sir.
Would it be fair to say that you all agree on this topic?
Yes, we do.
Okay, because of the length of the agenda, I'm going to follow the chairman's edict and ask that you please select someone from your organization to come and testify and not take up the committee's time by having duplicative testimony.
May I respond to that, sir?
No.
My name is Talita Hayes. I stand with Vote and PJI as opposing House Bill 588. I speak as the voice of incarcerated families, members who could not be present today. I want you to remember this number I'm going to give you. 31 years, 4 months, 1 day is how long my loved one has been incarcerated on a unanimous jury verdict of 10-2. I testified May 27, 2021 on House Bill 346 to retroact this bill, this law. I was promised that day that we would give a relief to this. I sit here today to tell you House Bill 588 is an insult to me, my loved one, and all the families of the incarcerated men and women that has been convicted by a non-unanimous jury verdict. I spoke to you last time when I came about my loved one who has done at that time was 29, now 31 years. This young man sits there and he took advantage of every opportunity that he needed to one day to be able to walk out of the gates of Louisiana State Penitentiary. From a high school dropout to a college graduate with a master's degree, working on his second master's degree. He's not a threat to society, along with the other 1,499 plus men and women who have did and took advantage of everything that you asked them to do, knowing that they're sitting somewhere that's unconstitutional for them to be there. I ask you at this moment to sit in this chair I'm sitting in. Picture yourself sitting here fighting for your son, your daughter, your grandson, your granddaughter, your cousins, your aunties, your uncles, and your nieces. Do you think it's fair that what the families of Louisiana are going through behind this? How will you feel if it was your son, your daughter, and a law that just said that it's unconstitutionalized for them to be there? And they come tell you, well, I'm going to offer parole, but I'm going to give you a panel that's going to decide if they get that. But the law already said it's unconstitutionalized, so why would you put my loved one in front of a panel again to give judges the opportunity to look at each other and call the judge that was on the case to ask his opinion of what went along, to give a vote to him again to deny him, and he still sit incarcerated in Louisiana under a law that was unconstitutionalized.
About 30 seconds, ma'am.
I stand with Vote PJI and all the families, incarcerated families of the loved ones who've been convicted of non-unanimous jury, and I tell you, I deny, I oppose this bill. It's an insult to our intelligence. It's an insult to our family. Louisiana have broken up so many families, communities because of Jim Crow. And I ask you to please do not vote House Bill 588.
Whoever included these amendments to this bill, they need to check their morale, their humanity, because they're trying to take the representation away from the individual. They're trying to make it hard. How are you going to get records that large organizations,
About 30 seconds,
attorneys couldn't get, right? You're putting them back in the same space. And it's up to us right now to make this right and put forth the right remedy to give these guys the justice that they need. Thank you.
It's ironic. I sit here next to my nephew. I spent those same years on this side. And I listened to that woman, and I remember the struggle of trying to get paperwork. Anyway, I want to tell you, let you hear from some other people that's still there. Said, dear legislators, I'm from Shreveport, Caddo Parish. I'm writing to you in regard to the unconstitutional issues surrounding the non-unanimous jury 10-2 verdict and the way it has affected me. I was convicted of a responsive verdict in manslaughter by a 10-2 verdict. My original charge was principal to murder. This unconstitutional verdict has really made me look at life differently. I realize how much pain this has caused my family and kids. I feel like I should have came to prison for a murder I did not commit. I lost a lot of loved ones since my incarceration. I hope and pray that you'll do the right thing and help the ones that have been left behind on this unconstitutional verdict. Sincerely. Another one writes, I've been incarcerated 26 years, and yes, I'm under the 10-2 from Jefferson Parish. I'm not understanding how JP comes with the 930.10 when filing under ART. 104, they are denying you straight out. Also, this bill, 588, I'm not in agreement with. This bill is similar to the bill that was taken off the table last year and with the 5-panel board that they wanted to have us to go to before all 5 would have to agree. Why is it back in there again when the 10-2 is unconstitutional? Thank you. Wish to hear from you soon. A third one writes, dear legislators, I'm a victim of the non-unanimous jury verdict, malicious and vindictive prosecution, and I'm an innocent man who's been suffering for almost 17 years in prison for a crime I didn't commit. In a state only eyewitness clearly say he never saw me shoot anybody and never saw a gun in my hand at any time. And these letters remind me of my nephew that sits here. Even when the guy came forward and testified that he had committed the crime, he still stayed in jail, 10, 13 years longer. And it's just hard. It's heartless that we could continue to be a part of the people that agree with this kind of cruel and unjust punishment.
15 seconds, ma'am.
And so I just ask of you to have a heart. To have a heart. Like the man said, how could you sleep at night knowing that you're a part of this? This continual unjust punishment.
I'm going to make a motion to report HB 588 as favorable, as amended.
Representative Gaines.
Yes.
Yes. Representative Edmondson. Yes. Representative Hughes. Yes. Representative Johnson. Yes. Representative Landry. Well, Representative Jordan. Representative Landry. Yes. Representative Mack.
Yes.
Yes. Representative Muscarello? Yes. Representative Orgeron? No. No. Representative Owen? Yes. Yes. Representative Presley? Yes. Yes. Representative Seabaugh? Yes. I have 10 yeas and 1 nay.
HB 588 is amended, moves to the floor.
So post-traumatic stress disorder and trauma-related mental health issues are a harsh reality among incarcerated individuals, with studies showing significantly higher rates of PTSD in men and women in prisons. The Louisiana Department of Corrections has recognized the seriousness of trauma among incarcerated people and is trying to address trauma among a group of reentry mentors and mentees incarcerated in Angola. But the limited resources prevent DOC from addressing trauma among the entire population of incarcerated men. This is unacceptable, especially given that incarceration itself is a traumatic event and many individuals in prison have experienced trauma and adverse childhood experiences before entering the prison system. Studies show that individuals with ACEs, PTSD, and exposure to trauma are more likely to suffer from chronic health conditions such as heart attacks, strokes, obesity, and cancer. A 2021 report, Louisiana Death Behind Bars, found that at least 558 deaths in the Louisiana Department of Corrections between 2015 and 2017 were caused by these medical conditions: cancer, heart attacks, respiratory, liver, diabetes, and strokes. Those medical deaths are similar to physical deaths caused by trauma. PTSD has also been linked to violent behavior among incarcerated individuals, as well as increased risk of criminal activity. Those with PTSD have higher levels of anger, aggression, and impulsivity, and PTSD symptoms are associated with higher risk of disciplinary infractions in prisons. While DOC has a constitutional obligation to provide mental health care, this legislative body also has a responsibility to pass legislation or allocate funding to ensure that DOC meets the mental needs of incarcerated people. By passing House Bill 55, Louisiana can help restore the social, emotional health of incarcerated individuals and save lives from medical-related deaths caused by trauma exposure. In addition to the benefits House Bill 55 will bring to everyone incarcerated in DOC, it will also, over time, free up funds sent to DOC by reducing recidivism rates across the state. Helping incarcerated people recover from trauma while in prison eliminates the potential cost of imprisoning them again, which unfortunately is a likely scenario for many formerly incarcerated with trauma-related symptoms. This bill will also reduce prison violence and restore emotional social health, making it both a compassionate and necessary solution. Continuing with current incarceration practices for individuals with PTSD is not only ineffective and inhumane, but also a financial burden on taxpayers. Trauma-informed screening, care, treatment plans within DOC are critical to promoting better mental health outcomes, saving lives by reducing stress levels, and increasing safety among incarcerated individuals, staff, and society. And one more point. Studies show that out of the 400,870 correctional officers in the United States, 19% surveyed reported symptoms of PTSD from experiencing severe threats to themselves and family while in prison. They have witnessed co-workers being injured and incarcerated people being injured or dying. The risk of suicide among correctional officers is 39% higher than all other professions combined. Thank you.